This is such a vibe.
This that pretty girl mantra, this that flaunt. You just touched down in LA. Pretty girls don't do drama unless we wanna. It'll be depending on the day. Pretty girls looking to defend. No, I'm a defender. Never let it catch no string. This that pretty girl mantra, she's that.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at Jennie's mantra. We have the music video and a rehearsal take. I'm excited for this because a lot of you have been asking for me to review this, and I know quite a few of the dancers that are in this particular choreography, and so I just wanted to take the time to celebrate them as well as being able to see what this choreo is all about. And I did happen to put a poll out on YouTube between mantra and if you know you know, and this one won out, so that's why we're gonna look at it as well, so I can do a nice little jazz take to it on top. So let's go ahead and get into it.
This that pretty girl mantra, this that flaunt. You just touched down in LA. Pretty girls don't do drama unless we wanna. It'll be depending on the day. Pretty girls looking to defend. No, I'm a defender. Never let it catch no string. This that pretty girl mantra, she's that stun. I make you wanna swing both ways. Explain with the drama. Check you like commas. My clothes are pajamas. Straight from the cold plunge. Daytime ladies on my eye. Quick switch at a fit for the night. Rubbing through the lane, maybe 20 minutes late. Cause we have to do it in our drive by. It's not that deep, I'm not that drunk. Sometimes girls just gotta have fun. Throw it back, all that ass. Me and my sis, we're too attached. Not that deep, I'm not that dumb. Look at them bodies on the run. Inside glow, we like the sun. You're gonna feel this every day. This that pretty girl mantra, this that flaunt. You just touched down in LA. Pretty girls don't do drama unless we wanna. It'll be depending on the day. Pretty girls looking to defend. No, I'm a defender. Never let it catch no string.
This is such a vibe. Yeah. Set everything on fire. That's such a JoJo Gomez thing to do. I know she was on it. That was her. I'm telling you. Come on, Kyla Priya. I see you, Miss Ma'am. You see Jade in there, Audrey in there. See Casey Rice too. We love it. She is me. Ooh. Not many people can pull a bodysuit like that. I'm telling you right now. Wow. Wow. They said, let's stun it real quick. You know what's really funny? And so Jade, she actually doesn't live in LA anymore. She lives in Florida. So I don't think she lives there anymore. So she also had to fly and land in LA like Jennie to do this. Cool. Okay, so we got the actual music video rehearsal, which we're here for. We already see Casey and we see Jade on her sides. Oh, come on. Go, Mug.
This that pretty girl mantra, this that flaunt. You just touched down in LA.
So I'm gonna be wearing Casey Rice fit. Thank you, girl. Yeah. Yes, this is Audrey.
Check you like commas. My clothes are pajamas. Straight from the cold plunge. Daytime ladies on my eye. Quick switch at a fit for the night. Rubbing through the lane, maybe 20 minutes late. Cause we have to do it in our drive by. It's not that deep, I'm not that drunk. Sometimes girls just gotta have fun. Throw it back, all that ass. Me and my sis, we're too attached. It's not that deep, I'm not that dumb. Look at them.
Such a catchy pre-chorus.
You're gonna feel this every day.
So this is what I'll probably be learning, yeah?
Pretty girls don't do drama unless we wanna. It'll be depending on the day. Pretty girls looking to defend. No, I'm a defender. Never let it catch no
So much ISOs.
pretty girl mantra, she's that stun. I make you wanna swing both ways.
Okay. I wonder where they're at. I like this breakdown though. That she is me. I really like that phrase at the end. That she is me. Clean. Nice. Oh, I bet they had a lot of fun too. So this one does have a lot of repeated grooves. It reminds me a lot of how Paris operates too. Cute. Love it. Cute. We love it. Yeah, Paris operates a lot with some of her commercial work in this way, where there's a lot of repeated moves. It does help enhance focal points, right? So we're here for it. So if you don't know, this is Casey Rice. This is going to be my outfit we're going to be wearing. Thank you, girl. And that's Jade. Jade and Casey are some of like the earlier generations of dancers you would see in the Millennium videos. So, I mean, the reason why we have a lot of like the class footage you see nowadays, they were those first kind of, I don't know if it was really guinea pigs, but they were the first ones that were kind of popping off on those. And I would put Sean Liu in that as well. So it's really cool to see them here. It's really nice to see Casey here. And Jade, I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and she is so much happier nowadays than she used to be. When you would see some of her older stuff, and there was just a lot of stuff that had happened. And you don't really, you know, if you find out, you find out when it comes to some stuff that happened in LA a few years ago. So she just looks so much happier, and I love this type of track where it does feel like a sense of, I don't know, it's like, come at us, what you want, you know? And it's not super like crossing the line of just straight sex. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna sit here and do that because I've seen JoJo pull that, and that's just not my personal preference. It feels more it feels like a vibe, like it's you're with your girls and you're vibing out. It's kind of what it feels like, which is really cool. So we're gonna, so I like from the top, we have the little pretty, nice little hat accent on the tail end. The subtle little movement forward is cute. That pretty girl. So I like how we open up and we lift it up. So I'm assuming pretty, maybe something to do with makeup, something along those lines. And then that mantra, where we're opening it up, picking it, we're rotating it to match that mantra, that flancha. So maybe, you know, it's like the lips, it's cute, the intensity, we're here for it. That touchdown in LA, we're here for it. Love that too. And as we walk, I love how we hit, nice little accent. And of course we have, this does give us subtle Vogue influence and posture just with the hips and with the hands, but is it enough to give it the style? Don't quite know, which is fine. Well, I mean, you also see these little overheads, these arm control kind of influence. I mean, I would give it more like overheads with whacking than anything, but man, the range on that is freaking sick coming out of Casey over here. It's really cool. And of course we see good old Audrey Lane. We know her, of course. We've reviewed a lot of her on the channel for sure. And then from here we go, rotate it around, we're hitting it. Little twerking moment right there. I think all of them are having a lot of fun, especially Jenny, you know, and I think that's what makes it really fun. And this right here, they're taking the arm. Now the range on this is interesting because you want to take it from high to the front, right? And then allowing the hips to complement it. So you don't want the hips to over rotate or under rotate. And a fun little side note too, I just got sponsored by Fuego. So for me, I did have the option to get these exact shoes, but I chose to go, I think it was B-Dash's shoes because they were more on my color scheme. So I'm gonna also be sporting some of these here soon, and y'all are gonna help me determine what routines to try them in, because I'm just curious about how they actually feel, and we'll talk more about them later. But I love the fact she got to sport her own shoes. Love it. Anyway, but I like this little back accent. It's really fun. And just with that, once again, just little taps going on with the switching the weight to the front to the respective back is nice. And then it goes da 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 hit hit. So we go 2 little punches to the side, letting the hips accent it to change the weight over, and then we go bring it around the back. the switch, and then once again, it's just a lot of repetitiveness, but it's not distasteful in the repetitiveness. And it matches how she's hitting the tone, and it's kind of a reintroduction to "It's That Pretty Girl" mantra. Da, 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 da. It's just, it hits the syncopation quite well. You have those accents, or just with those overheads, and then we end up letting the elbows control it to make it feel more fluid on the tail end, which is really cool. And then it goes, makes you want to swing both ways, boom, boom, and you hear the breath. Notice that they all lift before they move on. I really like that choice. Then we have this little extra bounce to follow through to bleed over into the next phrase, which is really cool. So from here, we have this little mouthing right here. It kind of ties into a lot of the imagery of hands. I really like it whenever hands are clear and intentional. And so we're using the hand and we're using the chest. A lot of things are being influenced by other subtle accents, which is really, really nice. And then that commas, boom, little subtle head on that. Then we have the hips, the little brush is fun. I've used that in my own choreography recently. It's just a fun little brush for a transition, which is what you're noticing, right? So they do a brush, and then from here, if we're folding it up, really good back flexibility with all of them, because a lot of times people struggle to get it about right here. So the pushback is really nice and it doesn't look forced. And I like the fact that everyone feels like they're having a good time. I am curious when I do try this here soon, how it's gonna feel. I'm assuming it's like, in order to go like really full, it's gonna be a lot of accent resets in order to enhance or isolate where you want it to isolate, but in a fun way, right? So I'm just so curious about all that. I'm looking forward to. I like how we hit with the little accents and we go with the hands to trigger the hips to rotate up and around. Then it goes, so I like the little head nod on that, super cute. Then we go high to low, so we hit it to go on that bass, which is really cool. A really subtle transition, switching out your dancers. You get Casey and Jade going out. And then I don't quite know, I've seen her before, I just don't know her name. And then you have Audrey coming back in. Really nice. And then you have Jennie right there. And I love the attention on the side. So they're ready to work. They're here for it. The cross. And they have, once again, a little accent. So they're slowly building up the energy on the tail end, which is nice. So some people may be like, oh, it's so simple. I don't freaking care. It doesn't matter. There's beauty in the discography of complexity, but also simplicity. Simple, a lot of times, is easy to read, and it feels more unified because you can get more people to do it, right? Now, a lot of girls are probably like, ooh, this is my mess. You want it to feel good. And so having it phrased in this way makes it look approachable, makes it look like, hey, if you want to dive into this, let's go dive into it. And if you don't, that's fine too. Look at how much fun we're having. Like, it feels like it's fun. It makes me look forward to learning it too. So I like that little so I like the little extra reset. And also I like the fact that there wasn't the dress code, of course, is all black, and then Jennie got to wear red. I like seeing the uniformity where it makes it clear who your artist is. I love that intention, and it feels intentional, which, because it is. But I also like the fact that everybody got to wear what's comfortable to them, which I highly respect and I appreciate, because I know a lot of times, sometimes dancers even are given a dress code, like you have to show midriff, or you have to wear a bra top, or you have to do those types of things. And so I like the fact that that wasn't in the dress code. Like, you can wear a jacket if you want to. Like, I really, really value those moments in the professional scene, for sure. I like the brush, and honestly, it'll kind of reiterate or validate your concept, which is, pretty girl, sense of it's collective, and pretty girl they look different shapes and sizes. I do think there is a chance we could have pulled more inclusiveness on different body styles, but also because you don't have to just look a certain way to be pretty, but also a lot of these girls are different hair colors, different ethnicities, different nationalities. So it's just really cool to at least celebrate a lot of components of it. And I'm not really dogging it at all. Quite the opposite. I like the intention behind it. And so it does make me curious what Jennie's going to do in the future. Is she going to continue to use dancers from the Western, like from America, or is she going to go more domestic, like in Korea? I don't know. It makes me very curious about all that, right? So I like the little whacking overhead. It's cute. Of course, the little raise of the chin is nice. Then we have other dancers coming back in. It's not that deep. It's not that dumb. So they all look up. I like the little accent with the hips. and they're ending up letting the torso, notice that everybody's torsos are allowing, there's a sense of strength behind it, but how they're moving to and fro on it, it's not so full, it's letting go of the form and the position of the formation. Because a dancer's role is to help enhance the overall picture. Sometimes individuality helps with that, but in this case, the accent is fun, but also you don't want it to be so out of pocket that it takes away from Jennie, right? Now, special shout out, I think this is Kylar Priet. We love her because of my time with her with building blocks. So she's on the building block circuit of instruction. So I'm very familiar with her. Love it. Anyway, so I love the fact that she's in there. Like the lean and lean is also really cool. And then they go throw it back. So they end up hinging back, which is cool. So she has her moment. And I like how they pull it up on the end of the phrase. She has her subtlety. She goes boom, she hits it. And then of course they lift up on ass. And they talk about, of course, with the little extra booty pop on that. And go like that is really nice. So I like how they let the hands go around and they let the body respond by moving in opposition of the hand. So it makes it more, it gives it more space and it makes it feel more intentional and there's more strength and power behind it. It's really cool. The sway on this is really nice, gives a sense of femininity behind it. It's really nice. And then they bleed it over, end up doing it about twice. Click, click, and then from here she has her moment accent up. They snake it down, and then they snake it down. So just it's just a simple ripple, you know, nothing crazy there. And then they go straighten, nice little hinge, and then they're ready. I love that. Boom. Here, this is the moment. It's this, that pretty girl mantra. Yeah, this is probably one of the most familiarized choreography sections that they practice because you see it in the beginning intro section. You also see it here. You also see it very near the end. It's not really that long of a song. It doesn't need to be. It's really nice. Gets to the point. No bridge. Yeah, mantra, this, that, flantra. And so it does look like we're doing a box step. So if you're actively learning this, here's how you can think about it. A, the little clap, boom. So you place your weight on the standing leg, allowing the drag of the foot to happen as we walk. Looks that we're going 2 steps forward and then we finish. The second step crosses to allow a box step or a jazz square. And it's polyrhythmic, so there's subtlety in the hands. I like the stylized hands. And it goes that flantra. So we take more 2 steps. And then we take the foot, instead of finishing and doing a secondary jazz square, we just step together. Then we bleed through, and we go bleed little accent, and then we put our hands up by our head, little hips, and we end up going and keeping it more stationary or centering your weight in the center, so it makes it a moment, so it allows you to go either way. And then from there, we end up speed changing, letting the hips have their moment, brushing our hands down, and depending on the day. So we end up going hit, hit. I think the accent's with the right leg here. Yeah, depending on we switch, we go out, opposition of the chest to go bring it in. And then from here, your weight's on the front foot. So you end up wanting to push and accent the hip to the outside to the front while you cater the weight to the back first. Then you go to the front with the accent. Then you switch it over, and then right here you take it a little punch punch with the hips, accent, accent. So the hips play a huge role in how this works, as well as where you start your weight. So if you don't put your weight in the right spot, you're going to end up starting in the opposite direction if you're not careful. So that's why it's important to know where's their weight here, where's the energy coming from. They're using their back through and through on all of this, and so dancers are eating. We love it. And then they end up doing it 4 times. The goal is to make it consistent and powerful every time. You need your back to do that, which is exactly what you're seeing here. And they're catering their weight more towards the right side, allowing the left side to cater to balance, but it's more of like a not pivot, it's not a pivot point, but you kind of rebound your weight on it. Not the same way as this one, but it is still really nice that you see it catered there. So you have the dancers go up and they say, come on, and then you have the lean, so they're catering their weight over to their right side again, bending that left knee, and then to the other side, and then they have to cheat it. So my dancers on stage right, they have to end up swing both. They keep their body over and they end up switching the weight by isolating the upper body to get it swung over to the other side. Then right here we have a fun little Jennie moment. Little bleed up is nice moving on this, so she's not tucked it up, she's lowered it here, and we go a little accent of course with the chest to isolate in opposition of the hips, which is really nice. Run that all night, so I like how you bring it up, nice. So there's nothing inherently like the most creative thing I've seen in the world. I just think the choreography matches the track very, very well. There's a lot of repetitiveness in the rhythmic structure of mantra, so some people may be turned off by it, where it doesn't feel creative compared to the capabilities or expectations they expected of JENNIE. But I personally don't mind it, because I think there's beauty to be had in variety within your discography. If this is the only style that she does, she has the freedom to do that, just like you have a freedom as a fan or as just a general viewer to not listen. That's also fine. For me, I'm kind of indifferent. I like it. Would I put this on my Spotify? I don't know. I wouldn't skip it if it did come up, though, you know. And the choreo, I'll let you know how it goes once I learn it. I may do a behind the scenes on it. We'll see. But it is really fun to be able to see. What I'm looking at is not just the choreo, but I'm looking at how the dancers are showing their face. It looks very organic. It doesn't feel forced. And it looks like they actually like doing it, which makes people, the general public, naturally want to learn it too. So that makes me happy, and it does also give the impression that JENNIE is really enjoying this kind of era that she's in, just like a lot of the Blackpink members are enjoying what they're pursuing, which I love, being able to see people be able to pursue their artistry the way that they want. I think that's great. So I like the little trace through. I like that the girls are attentive on the side. Very professional. I like it. Like, they're being mindful and intentional with where the camera could possibly be. It's awesome. So I like the little tap, and then she crosses it. Also really nice. Go where vibes. And then we have a little legato, allowing it to bleed. So it's maintaining a degree of flow and how you're hearing these harmonies behind in this section. So could this be our what is it? It's not even the second chorus. So we technically had an intro. It's that Pretty Girl Mantra intro chorus, and then you have verse 1. You had your actual chorus, and then you had a breakdown. Is what I'd call this, more than a bridge. Or maybe we can call it bridge, so we don't even have a second verse, which is also fine too. Or maybe this is the second verse, the pull in. I don't know. It's just how it's set up is really cool. Yeah, you know how it breaks down, it just feels like it's a progression and a bridge. So I like that. Is that Pretty Girl Mantra? Yeah, and notice the level. So everyone's dropping, but notice they were probably asked those closer to the front to drop lower. So it creates this kind of tilted level. So JENNIE is still seen, but it's still clumped. I like that choice. Then they bring it up. I like the melting here. Everyone got to do their own choice. We love that. One, and then JENNIE got to still be. She's still the focal point, but each dancer still got to shine in their own individual way, the way they want to, which we love. And then you have the little hip swings. This is the most JoJo Gomez coded thing I think I have seen this entire time. She does this in so much choreo. That's like the JoJo signature is what this is right here. And I like how JENNIE looks back on the second half, where there's still that accent with the hips, but it's not so much like, hey, look at our butts the whole time. It's a look at the flow and how we're writing the flow on side to side collectively, and it feels unified, but also we know how cute we are. You know, there's like that kind of square up power behind it, if that makes sense. And I like this here. Now it's very whispered, so it's, instead of it being very, not petty, it's not really petty, it's a, I don't need you to tell me because I know. It's more that kind of confidence, but here it's very isolated. So there's that absence of this extra posture and degree of power that's integrated. It's very strong, but it's isolated, right? It feels reserved, but still powerful. Really nice. The tension is there. So instead of it being like a little flick, still with speed change, this one is just straight up speed change with tension. Then it goes one. I love the subtlety of the head on that. Little moments like that really help enhance subtlety. Accent up, though, clap, clap, boom. Love the smile. Come on, ladies. Yeah, that is that Pretty Girl Mantra. Like, this is really fun of a breakdown. And then we go side to side. Part of me actually wants to learn this part. I think it looks really fun. I mean, I think that that Pretty Girl, like the actual chorus is fun, but I really like this section, if I'm being honest. That touchdown in LA, I think for me and my body, I think I'd enjoy this section. And you still got the iconic choreo, and you have the hop, hop, hop. I love that choice. And then drama. It feels more communal than like unified in your face. I think it's that, which is why I think I cater myself as a human. I'm not one who's like, It's that pretty girl mantra. I'm not one who looks at myself in that way as often as this kind of artistic expression, and I think there's beauty in both perspectives. But here, it feels very communal. It feels fun. It feels like a party. So I feel more related to this section. And the smiles look really nice too. So I think that's why I really like it. And that move right there, come on. I love me a good hip accent with the leg to dig into it. Come on now. And we hit it, and then I got it all day, and then we push, and then we go, and we have our energy. I mean, look at how happy she looks. Like, that makes my heart so happy, and it makes me enjoy taking a look at this in this way, because it doesn't feel like she's being asked to do something she's not comfortable in doing. In the K-pop world, there's a lot of times where we don't know until it's already like happened, and then like we feel bad a lot of times that we entertained it or we supported it, right? But that's not another topic entirely, and I'm not talking about Blackpink or any of those types of things, but I'm just speaking in the K-pop sense. That's a really real thing. And so to see the amount of freedom and joy that she has really touches me in a great way as somebody who really looks at a lot of K-pop choreography in my day. So I love that. So it's the same repeat there. I love just the smiles. And then we have a little twirl right there on the tail end of the wrist, so we hinge over on the sides. Then the subtlety, it's the pretty girl, and then we sink it a little bit deeper. I love that choice. And we hit over. And I love that. She is me. That part, God, that she is me. I love like that. There's such confidence behind the choice. And she brushes, oh, come on. And they walk to the back, and they go and they re-switch. She goes, haha, come on, laugh, let's go. Then they go and they reset. I love these walks here. 2, I love this here. 1, come on, we're here for it. They hit with the switch. I love that choice. Now with this, they have to make sure that the hands are connected and there is strength behind it in the back, because if they're pulling from the arms and not from the back, back's connected to torso. The torso motivates the direction change, not the arms. And that's how you see such a clean direction, is because of where their energy is coming from. That's why I'm such an advocate for use your back. It really is one of the strongest muscle groups and collection of muscles that can help you in maintaining strength behind your upper body. And I talk about it in whacking. That's a big thing to advocate for. In ballet, it's a huge thing to advocate for. Basically, any arms that you do ever in dance, it really helps if you use your back to allow a sense of power behind it. And this is a great example as to why, because it allows an isolation in the torso where you pull it from one side to the other. That's really fun to see, right? And then branch it up. I like for them to go high, and then we go and accent down, and then they reset. Whew, I love the little hair flip there with the chest, and then we drop down, do a little trace up the body, and then we do a little ding, ding, ding. There's a nice little rotation of the hips to get them all clumped together, and then they go dee, dee, dee. So it's a syncopated hip, hip, hip from left, right, left, because they're facing us, with the fingers to help with that. And of course, you have Jennie matching with the hand. Cute. Dee-dee-dee. So the dancers had to go do-do-do, do-do-do. That's pretty fast to do if you're not on top of it on the balls of the feet there. And then they're all walking. They're like, oh, y'all cute. We're so cute. And we go, ha, 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 come on. And then it goes, pretty. And they say hello, and we walk. And then you hear they're still walking. And they end up going 2, 3, 4. And then I wonder how many times they counted. Let's look. So it goes, pretty. Oh, wait, hold on. Right here. I'm just curious. 2, 3, 4, 5. They were told how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably in a count. Then we disperse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off. Love it. I like the encouragement we hear in the back. I always appreciate it when we do hear in dance practices. We hear people hyping in the back. That was an audio overlay where the beginning and the end, they kind of cross-dissolved or allowed us to hear the audio in the space. But they were probably going, hey, hey. They were probably hyping the mess out of the girls, which I think made it really, really an enjoyable experience for a lot of people. Of course, we don't really know unless the dancers themselves post about it and speak on their own behalf. But I can just naturally assume, based on who we've seen here, how they're interacting with each other as well as with Jennie, and just how they're existing in the space. I think it's quite beautiful, and it makes me really happy that Jennie gets to experience this herself. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. Like I had mentioned, I am going to be approaching this choreography. Which section? I don't know. You'll just have to go and find out. And there's a chance that as soon as my Fuego shoes come in, I may try this one again just so I can match Jade and give you my thoughts on how it practically feels in comparison to dancing in regular shoes. So if you're like, ooh, that sounds fun, I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, and if you want to see more Jennie, I mean, there's a chance, just if she keeps using a lot of dancers that have a heavy background background that I'm familiar with, especially in American dancers, there's a really good chance I'll keep watching unless we tackle a Blackpink marathon in the future, which could be a very real possibility too, which would make me excited as well. But yeah, this has been wonderful, and I'm excited for the commentary to hear from you guys. Once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.